Let's talk Nestle. Recently, you may have heard that Nestle refused to cut ties with Russia despite their ongoing war with Ukraine, and even more recently, they did acquiesce and say that they would stop selling non-essential products to Russia. However, what you might not know is that Nestle is pure evil. There are tons of articles and videos out there detailing their past offenses, but I'll keep it brief. In the 1970s, they starved and/or killed tens of thousands of babies in developing countries by way of their baby formula. They've been associated with child labor, price fixing, making deals with dictators in the past, pollution violations, and most recently, stealing water by the millions of gallons in several countries, including Canada, the United States, and Pakistan. But what I really want to talk to you about is the most recent developments with Russia. If you look it up, you'll see that they've claimed they're going to stop selling non-essential products in Russia with a few exceptions. What you won't find is a list of what exactly is considered an essential product by Nestle. I'm sure the list is out there somewhere, but the main point is that it's buried underneath a plethora of articles, all making sure to very boldly state that Nestle is no longer selling non-essential products to Russia. Still, this begs a very important question, and the answer to that question is far more sinister than it might seem at first glance. Why hasn't Nestle completely cut ties with Russia altogether? Clearly, it's not that beneficial from a business standpoint. They average about $1.7 million in revenue a year from Russia, and they make around $80 to $90 billion a year worldwide. They only employ about 7,000 people in Russia, but overall they employ around 250,000 people across the world. At least in part, the answer is this. If you do not abandon an aggressor country in wartime, when the war is over, they will look to you first as a reliable source of income and supplies. Of course, the argument can be made that if Nestle completely cut ties with Russia, they would be leaving the people who are in many ways blameless completely without essential supplies. And this is where Nestle guarantees that it will win the argument against public opinion. Nestle is providing an unspoken presentation of a modified version of the trolley problem. If you're unfamiliar, the trolley problem is a thought experiment where a trolley is hurtling down the tracks toward 5 people who will undoubtedly be killed. You have the ability to divert the trolley, however, the diversion will kill another person. Nestle has positioned itself to say, sure, we may be supplying the infrastructure of an openly hostile country, but the train was already moving on the tracks. If you, the consumer, demand that this should stop, then moral responsibility will shift to you. And to that end, if not us, then who? It's a question that most individual consumers cannot answer, and something that the whole of their consumers are unable to answer in a singular voice. Nestle may sell chocolate milk mix, diet meals, bottled water, and baby food, but their business is blood. This is a company with decades of varying levels of profiteering under its belt, and sidestepping ethical roadblocks is nothing more than a pleasant game of hopscotch. All of this information leads to a question of penultimate difficulty and importance. What can I do? Most everyone is familiar with the idea of boycotting a product or an entire company. But over the years, corporate influence has grown and evolved to take this problem into account. It's very important that you understand that this is not your fault as the consumer. You have been set up by these companies to not have a choice. When was the last time you traveled to the grocery store with a list of companies you didn't want to buy from anymore? Even more to the point, these companies know that you do not have the financial stability to be a discerning consumer. You don't even really have the time. Hell, it's very likely most people didn't even make it to this point in the video. Grocery shopping is primarily a utilitarian function. We want to be done as quickly as possible, and if that means choosing the cheap product that we know over the product that costs $2 more, we will do that to get it done faster. In short, the answer is awareness. If you weren't aware before, you now know that Nestle is a terrible company. You can choose to share this information with your family and your friends, and through social media, even strangers. Share this video, or if you don't like this video, pick another. Ordinary Things has a great video on Nestle. You won't be hurting my feelings, I promise. The key thing for you is ingrained consideration. I don't expect you to edit your entire grocery list around one company. But maybe the next time you're at the store, you won't buy a Nestle Crunch Bar, or a Hot Pocket, or a Lean Cuisine meal, or Coffee Mate Creamer, or Purina dog food. Nestle has a full list of products on their site, and you can easily look at it and pick one out, and the next time you're at the store, you can look at it and say to hell with that. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a funny short, or a review video, or a mocking commercials video. I'm still learning and growing, and honestly I know that I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before, I'm just saying it again. It was weird for me to establish a tone and gain a few subscribers, and then immediately jump onto a video with a very serious topic in mind. In some way, I felt I had to do it, even if only just for me. And if you watched it, I'm very grateful. Feel free to like and subscribe or follow depending on the platform where I choose to post this. I'm going right back to making fun of commercials, but if you know of another company that sucks and that I should research and talk about, feel free to leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll catch you for the next one. But if not, that's okay, and again, thanks a lot for watching.